He'd probably say, oh, to be filled with cream. Hey guys, welcome back. No, you cannot see me. No, or yes, that is on purpose, rather. I fear I spent most of today not at my house, and so, now it's time to record podcast, and I am slightly underprepared. I say slightly. This is just going to be a real Yappers Anonymous, especially because you can't see me, so that's kind of cool. I guess we could do some updates. How far are we into... We're not quite halfway, are we? What's a halfway point in a year? Hold on. January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, so we're not quite halfway through the year, but we're pretty close. We're about 2 months out. I was gonna update you on my New Year's resolutions, but that seems like we're a little too far from the halfway point. Let me tell you what I've been doing. I've been going to physical therapy. That's kind of cool. I'm unlearning all my atrocious habits from lifting weights in my teen years, and I've got a really bad back. I have an old lady back, you know. I'm really, really old lady core, grandma core, if you will. And so I'm like, I reached a point where I guess I'm old enough now where I can't ignore my back pain anymore. And so I'm trying to do something about it before it gets worse, you know, before I'm like 40 and can't get out of bed in the morning because my back hurts so bad. And so I'm going to physical therapy. It's been pretty good. She's pretty cool, my physical therapist. She's very chill. She's probably like 2-3 years older than me, so she's really not that much older than me. She's a snowboarder, apparently. Skateboards. We talked a lot today because she was releasing the tension in my hip flexors, which is a very painful process if you've never had it done. But she says that's where my issue is like, well, two things. One, I got weak hip flexors. I don't know why that was so hard to say, which apparently a lot of people do. Most people don't work their hip flexors, like they don't strengthen those muscles, so they kind of weaken over time. So yeah, we're kind of working on that. I've got very bad hip flexors, and that contributes a lot to my back pain. So like when my hip flexors are agitated or strained or anything, like my back hurts a lot more. So I've been doing some stretches for that, and she's having me do these like pelvic tilt leg exercise things. I don't know. That sounds a lot more sketchy than it is. So yeah, so she says I've got bad hip flexors, and I also really struggle with like the concept of a neutral spine. And so things where you have to like hip hinge, for example, like an RDL, even like a hip thrust where you have to maintain a neutral spine, I struggle with. Like it hurts my back. I've always had that issue where it hurts my back, even though like my form isn't awful. But the thing about like deadlifting is if you're not engaging the right muscles and you just do it, like you're kind of in for a world of hurt. And I spent years not knowing what I was doing. And so even though I know what I'm doing now, like my body can't find the correct form because I've spent so many years doing it wrong. And so that's the other thing, is that we're working on me developing a neutral spine, which is harder than it sounds for someone who overcompensates with their back. Like, it's really embarrassing to go to physical therapy. I don't know if you've ever been to physical therapy, but it's really embarrassing. They have you do things, and they seem like really simple movements or really simple exercises, and all of a sudden you're like sweating and out of breath, and it's like, that's so embarrassing. I go to the gym 5 days a week, and yet these tiny like movements that they're asking me to do are making me sweat into the doctor's office right now. So really embarrassing to go to physical therapy, but physical therapist is cool, and it is helping. Like, I've been doing my like stretches and stuff for my hip flexors, and I have noticed a difference in my back. Like I haven't had, let's see, I started doing this like 2 weeks ago. I haven't had as severe back pain as I usually do. And so that's kind of good. Now I haven't tried any of my like the movements that I've stayed away from because they hurt my back. But I feel like that's progress. I feel like that's still something to be a little proud of. So I've been doing that. I I am back in. I kind of talked about this. I have recently taken a job. I'm re-entering the corporate sphere, and I spent a long time not working a corporate job. Or I say corporate mostly because I don't want to tell the world what I do. Anyway, a professional job. That's probably a better way to say it. And so like all of my outfits and everything that I had accumulated for professional jobs, I don't have anymore cuz I kind of assumed, well, I didn't assume I wouldn't need them, but I kind of just like thought it was so much further down the road than it is now. And so I have found myself in a wee bit of a pickle where my current style is not professional work style. And I'm kind of trying to work around what that's supposed to look like. I know there are a lot of corporate goth girlies out there who do this very well. I'm not one of them. Mostly because like I'm the type of person who goes to my job and I like it's just a job to me more or less. And so the idea of being in like I see these corporate girlies who wear like corsets and stuff to work and I'm like, ugh, who's doing that? Who wants to do that? I'm in a job where I sit a lot. And I mean it is people facing. I do need to look nice. I'm not saying that, but I want to be comfortable. I don't know. I just feel like weird about the concept of wearing. I also see like they'll wear like leather like harnesses and stuff to work and I guess their work is like cool with that, but I can't imagine mine would be cool with that. I feel like that's a little bit too edgy, promiscuous perhaps for my line of work. So yeah. So I'm like looking at all this inspiration for corporate goth outfits and I'm just kind of struggling to like any of them. They're very like, I don't know. And I know I'm limiting myself by being like, well, I don't like the corsets and I don't like the harnesses because those are very like alternative staples for clothing. But I don't feel like they're really work appropriate. And so, at least not for my job. And so it's hard to feel like you're not just wearing the same thing every day, especially like because all of my clothes are black. And so maybe that's the problem. Maybe I should introduce more color. But yeah, like it just kind of feels like you're wearing the same outfit every day, even if you're not. And so I'm just kind of struggling with figuring out what to do, I guess. I don't know. That's such a non-issue, but I mean, it is. I mean, people see me at my job. Like, I want to make a good impression. I want to look nice, at least. I don't need to be, like, full-blown goth or put together, even. But, I mean, yeah. I feel like there's kind of this interesting thing, like, especially in, like, the corporate professional world. Now, I don't think my job is this way necessarily, but a lot of people where as much as you don't want it to, the way you look like has an impact on your job and the way people treat you and like all of that. And so even just like people are nicer to women in makeup like that. We just know that. So like things like that are like, okay, it's really pretty privileged. Like it is just people are nicer to those they deem attractive. So there is like an element of if you work a people facing job of like even if you don't want to do that, like you want to be an individual and yourself and not wear makeup or whatever, like you kind of, there is like a pressure to fit a mold, I guess, in that world. Anyway, that's kind of off topic, but that's what I've been up to. I'm going to work, real professional girl over here. Going to physical therapy, which is pretty cool. Other than that, I haven't really been up to much. Did some grocery shopping today. I ate a donut, a cream-filled donut, which is my preference for a donut. I love all donuts, but I particularly love a chocolate donut. And on top of that, I particularly love a Boston cream donut. The chocolate-filled donut. I guess it's not filled with chocolate, but it's a donut with chocolate frosting and then it's filled with cream. Love that. If Waffles were here, he'd probably say, oh, to be filled with cream. So I'll say it for him. Anyway, yeah, so I ate a donut today. That was really good. But it got me thinking about how the other day, I think it was Iceberg who said he likes cream-filled donuts, but not if he bites into a donut and isn't expecting the cream. So, like, if he bites into a donut and then there's cream and he wasn't expecting it, it's like a texture that he wasn't, like, mentally prepared for. Doesn't vibe with that. I kind of am the opposite. Like, I feel like if I bite into a donut expecting it to be filled and it's not, that's, like, equally as bad, in my opinion. Like, that feels equally as unnerving, disappointing, frustrating. So, but then I was thinking about like there's that opinion on like donuts, right? Like filled, non-filled. But then Van has a separate opinion on popcorn. And he says that popcorn and kettle corn look the same, smell the same, but if you reach in expecting popcorn and you get kettle corn, like it's a big disappointment. And I've always thought that was kind of funny because I really like kettle corn, and so like it wouldn't be a disappointment for me to get kettle corn instead of popcorn. But to him, it's like it's the expecting the popcorn and getting something else that is just like a real disappointment. It's like anger inducing. And so yeah, I was just kind of thinking about that as I was eating my cream filled donut, which obviously I bought because it was cream filled. Well, I didn't buy it, my mom bought it, but that's besides the point. And so that's kind of what was on my mind. I don't know. I don't know where that was going. Like, it's not some, like, profound analogy for anything. I just, like, there are so many things like that in life, you know, where you're expecting popcorn and then you get kettle corn. And it's so individual to the person. Like, Iceberg not wanting to bite into a donut and then, like, getting cream when he's not expecting cream, whereas I feel like I'm the opposite. That's so interesting. Anyway. Alright, well, that's enough of that, I guess. I'm gonna go to bed, probably. See you later. Later, gamers.